Yes, people, welcome back to Premsy TV. Got a special guest with us today, guys. Dan Potts here to preview the Arsenal and West Ham game. How you doing, Dan? It's been a little while. Talk to me.
Yeah, it's been a while, Premsy. What you say? Listen, I'll tell you what, I'm not feeling too grand, bro. I can't lie. I've got a bit of a. It's negative test, but I was adamant I had the COVID again, man. I'll tell you this now. I haven't felt good the last few days, but colds are going around, bruv, and Arsenal take you through the emotions. So maybe it's just that I've just been tired out by all the exhaustion of supporting this club this season, man, because there's ups and
Yo.
downs. But listen, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Nah, Dan, honestly, it's a pleasure having you on every time, man. Obviously, we think very similar, and your opinion's very valid to me. So it's a pleasure having you on all the time. I
Cheers,
just
man.
want to say to you, get some fucking lemon, ginger, and honey down you, man. Hot water, get that mixed up, yeah, and just start shotting that. Get me a bit of ginger in there, good root, sort you right out. But yeah, Dan. So obviously, I've not seen you for a little while because I haven't been to many of the games. Because obviously, I was explaining to you off camera, I haven't had the time because of work and stuff. So obviously, it's been a bit of an unpredictable last few weeks for Arsenal. You know, 3 games on the bounce, getting beat, going to Stamford Bridge, winning somewhere where I didn't expect us to win at all, and also beating Manchester United, which normally, even if they're in good form or they're not in good form, it's always a difficult game against United, and we never seem to get over the line convincingly. And we managed to do it, put ourselves back in contention for fourth spot, undeniably. Now, if we can go into West Ham and gain some ground and win that game, we've put ourselves in a decent position going into the last couple of games. So where do you stand on the unstableness of Arsenal at the
Mm,
moment, and how are
yeah.
you feeling towards Arteta as well? Because it's a bit of an up and down kind of thing.
It is unstable, mate. It's been a crazy season, and yeah, I'm still not convinced, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like some of these people where we beat United and Chelsea and everything's rosy again. Um, we're a team that unfortunately can go a long time winning games, and then we hit that block, and we have 2 or 3 losses, and then we'll go on a nice little run again, and then we'll hit a load of losses again, and then we'll go on a nice little run again. And unfortunately, there's too many bumps in the road for me, bruv. Um, a lot of the time people say that we're going to be inconsistent because of this young side and young manager, and that was exactly why I didn't trust his process, bruv, because I knew it was going to be an inconsistent roller coaster. And the first 3 games of the season suggested that we weren't ready. Then we went on a few 1-0 wins and a nice little 3 points here, 3 points there. Then we went to Anfield and got battered in November. Then we went to Old Trafford and we lost. And then we lost to Goodison Park, 2-1 to Everton. And I was just like, I don't think I can watch much more of this. And then we went on a nice little run again around Christmas. And then we got dumped out the FA Cup to Nottingham Forest and Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. And then we started to go on a nice little run again. And then, of course, I was asking questions around, go on, keep going, because I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. 2022 has been a good year to start with. Although we were out of the silverware, it was frustrating actually when we were looking at what our target was this season. It wasn't to win an FA Cup, it was to try and secure Champions League football, and that was still on. And I just thought to myself, potentially Palace is a banana skin, but actually, at least we've got Brighton and Southampton to beat after that. To lose those 3 in a row, I think every Arsenal fan was starting to question where we were heading, and it looked like top four was thrown away. The only reason that we've actually managed to cling on to a top four challenge is because United and Spurs are trash and they've been bottled jobs
Yeah.
as well. So now that we've gone and beaten Chelsea and United and deserve credit, albeit they were absolutely terrible, in my opinion, that's the worst Man
Yeah,
United side I've ever seen. And Chelsea
yeah,
had
they're a
their
joke, man.
the reserves out against us.
Mm.
Um, so I think we might have got away with it. We took a risk in January by not signing anybody, and I put that down to the manager and Edu. And I said that if we don't get top four, then he has to go, and I stand by that because the paveway, the pathway, sorry, has been open 4 times for this guy to clinch fourth, and if he doesn't get it, then you can't go into a fourth season under Mikel Arteta without Champions League football. If you're a club like Arsenal, that's just my opinion. A lot of people disagree. They think European football's good enough, but I can't get behind a fan base that wanted Wenger out with banners for coming second when Leicester won the league. to then accept that 2 8th places and a 5th place or 6th place is progress. So that's just my opinion. Everybody says I'm wrong and says that's not
Yeah.
fair, and that we should be realistic. We're not going to win the league. I'm not asking to win a league title this season, but I'm asking to challenge in the next couple of years, and I don't see that happening under this manager. That's just my opinion. It might be
Yeah.
wrong. We might go into the summer and buy 7 or 8 players, Premsy, and then next season we're up there with City and Liverpool. But we'll have to see. But I don't really see this manager taking us to a title, which is why I'm not 100% convinced. Having said that, Premsy, I will say, to
Yeah.
end on it, if we get that top four, bro, then he's done something that Wenger and Emery couldn't do, and he deserves the credit that he does get, because at the end of the day, he secured us Champions League football, which is where we should be. But it don't stop there. We got to keep going, man. I want to be winning
Do you
titles,
know
not
what, Dan?
just getting fourth.
I'm telling you now, yeah, I couldn't have summed it up better myself, and that's just probably because we're so like-minded. Now, for
Mm.
people that don't know you and don't know myself in person, that I know you personally, and I can see that you just want the best for Arsenal Football Club, whether that's you supporting Mikel Arteta or not. And I think a lot of people get caught up in this cycle. They say one thing and then they get scared to go back on it, and it all becomes a bit of a fuckery because they ask what people think. At the end of the day, football's ups and downs. It's a very reactive game, especially when it comes to fans and emotions, especially after the game. So we've got every right to feel sometimes we're doing well and sometimes we're doing poorly, because that's just football. And I think we see it like that because we're very fair as fans as well, where we say if Arteta does get fourth spot, we will give him that opportunity to then see if he can go and push on from there, which is not unfair one bit. But like you said, going into a fourth season under the same manager without Champions League is can you see any other manager doing that? Like you said,
No.
Wenger was chucked out because everyone was wanted him gone for getting fourth. This is what I always go back to and relate to all the time when people say to me, patience and this, that, and the other. The reason we
Mm.
got rid of Wenger is because we wanted Champions League football. Since Wenger's gone, realistically, how many seasons have we been in the Champions League?
Yeah,
It,
exactly,
it,
mate.
it
And it's
it's
unbelievable that there's. Do these fans support Arsenal FC or do we support Arteta FC? This is what I don't quite get. I seem to
mm,
believe that there's a lot of fans out there that support Arteta FC that wanted Wenger and Emery FC out. Very
mm,
bizarre, because the way I see it is this. Arteta has brought a lot of positives to Arsenal. I can't deny it. Yeah, in terms of the connect with the fan base, the right attitude with some of the players,
yeah,
the right recruitment with him and Edu, he's definitely done some positives. I like the way he's got rid of the dead wood. I don't really think that's an amazing job. I think I could have probably done that and told you that Mustafi wasn't good enough and told you Kolasinac weren't going to make it, but still, someone had to do it and he did it
mm,
well. But his mismanagement of players and some of the inconsistencies, some of the team selections, some of the substitutions, some of the refusal to bring on players really has me thinking. I'm quite confused by where your head's at, Mikel,
mm,
because how you can, mismanage so many players and fall out with so many players in your first 2 years in management is very, very odd. Now, some people like that. They think it's
mm,
ruthless and they think the players he fell out with needed to go. But I can't get my head around the people that say, well, we're conceding goals a lot more now because he's got his fullbacks out.
mm.
So who signed the fullbacks that are playing currently? Tavares and Cedric, because I believe that was Mikel Arteta who signed them.
Yeah,
Thomas Partey's out. Lokonga's not as good. Who signed Lokonga? Who signed him? Mikel Arteta. Now he's decided Arteta, we better bring El Neni back because this Lokonga ain't no good. And now we're starting to look better in midfield. So he's made mistakes
mm,
there. Playing Xhaka at left back against Villarreal, I said I'd never wanted to see it again. We saw it at Brighton.
yeah,
So all of those little things start to get into my head, and I'm thinking, why you keep making me feel like everything I'm saying is right about you? I want you to start saying, listen, Dan Potts, you're talking nonsense. I know you don't like what I'm doing, but this is the reasons I'm doing it. And unfortunately, it keeps coming back to bite. And I kept saying, go on that run. Ah, there's 3 losses. Go on a run. Ah, there's another 3 losses. And I just don't want to get to Premsy. We're going
mm,
on a nice run now against Chelsea and United. We're going to lose along the way somewhere. And I hope that with only 5 games left, we haven't got enough time to put another 3 losses in there, because that will just, in my opinion, kill it off. And I don't have enough faith that the ownership would do anything about it if we weren't to qualify for the Champions League, because they've invested into this guy, and the
Mm,
rumours are he's going to give him another 200 million. So let's see what
no.
happens.
No, I hear what you say, Dan. Just gonna get onto this super chat. Big up Sanjeet. So he says here, Klopp 7 seasons in the Champions League, 3 finals, possibly one this season. Arsenal 19 seasons in the Champions League, 1 final. Why couldn't we win it? And the bottom line of it is the reason we couldn't win it is because I personally believe we didn't have, once we moved to the Emirates Stadium, the funding that was pumped into the team, there wasn't enough backing from the owners, there wasn't enough smart decisions. Wenger thought he could potentially basically do it all on his own, and it become too much of a big job for him. Obviously, I'm not too sure where your thoughts are on that, Dan. But
Well, listen, I don't really understand the comparison between the Liverpool and Arsenal thing, because he's bang on there, by the way, Sanji, absolutely. But people like to say Liverpool, it took them 5 years. Liverpool did things absolutely, completely, and utterly differently to Arsenal
mm,
in terms of their model. Why? Because they got Jurgen Klopp, who had proven himself already at Borussia Dortmund, got them to a Champions League final, won them a league, done well at Mainz. When I look at it, I honestly believe we've gone for a manager that hasn't even managed Wigan or Bolton, so we can't compare him to Klopp. That's the first mistake to do. The second thing is the recruitment and the backing. The recruitment of Liverpool and the player sales have been nothing short of sensational. To sell Dominic Solanke to Bournemouth for 20 million, Jordan Ibe for 15, to
mm,
go and sell the guy Brewster for £25 million, to
yeah.
look at players like Phillips going, and some of the other players that they've sold along the years for
Even
ridiculous
like a
amounts.
Torres as well. Like even you got to think that was a massive
Yeah,
fee at the
and
time. It's
that
the
goes
biggest
back
transfer going. 50 mil
exactly.
there.
So when we're selling players like Guendouzi for 8 million after buying him
Mm,
for 6, we're not really getting the hang of it, are we? I can only think of Joe Willock, if I'm honest with you, and potentially Oxlade Chamberlain and Awobi that we've managed to sell for decent sum. The rest of
yeah.
them have all gone for like just under 30 million. It's not really great player sales, so we're not right in the model there. The recruitment at Liverpool has been nothing short of sensational. To go and get Robertson from Hull, go to places like Hoffenheim, Roma, Southampton, Leipzig, Sunderland, Arsenal with Oxlade Chamberlain. They've gone and bought some unbelievable players from those clubs. And I think that model is something we should definitely look to try and replicate. But I don't see the club from the top running that direction. And I think that Liverpool and Leicester and Ajax and
Mm.
maybe Benfica, Dortmund, they're all clubs that are run extremely well as a football club. And I don't really put Arsenal in that bracket. So I don't think this process is going to replicate any of those clubs, unfortunately.
No, most most definitely, yo. Like I said, Dan, the way you do it, you just hit the hammer on the nail in the way you break it down, and I love it, to be honest with you, because you go into depth with it, and people that don't understand, they will understand. Does that make sense? And the one thing I want to say as well, the problem with Arteta here, just going on to this question here, why Arteta should be sacked, basically, if you don't get top four. The reason why is because he's just too inexperienced. We've given him the opportunity 3.5 seasons. You get me? If he can't get us in the Champions League, then yeah, he has done some good work, brought in some good players, i.e. Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, a few things are looking up. You get me? He is growing on me in certain aspects. However, another manager of an elite level can come in and then develop from what he has built now to the next level. It doesn't always mean that, like City, they went through a period of bringing in like a Mancini, Pellegrini, slowly developing through managers. But throughout them times, they were bringing in key managers that had experience and was winning. The problem with Arsenal, we're never going to have that full financial backing. So we are going to need an experienced man in certain senses. Where Wenger saved us being in the Champions League loads of seasons without money, it's because he had that experience to get us there.
Mm.
So that's the reason why I think if he doesn't get us Champions League football, we had ample opportunities to capitalize on the position and get there. He fucked up in January by not bringing in a striker and replacing Aubameyang. Yeah, and we all knew that.
Facts.
And I don't think I could to put it any simpler than that. I think we can go out and talking about Roberto Mancini. I think that could be a manager that could come into Arsenal and develop things. Like he's a
Yeah,
he's a good manager in my
yeah.
eyes.
I would agree. Diego Simeone is not going to come, but he'd be the one that
Mm,
I would go for, and then I would probably go for Mancini next, if I'm honest with you. I think he's a player who's got, a manager who's got experience in the Premier League, and also he's got that kind of winning mentality. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of one that I want. Having said that, going back to what happens if you don't get top four, the reasons he should be sacked, you can't spend £250 million, have one game a week, and then not get into the Champions League, in my
Mm.
opinion, particularly when Manchester United and Tottenham really don't want it. And they're saying, no, thank you. You know, this season you take it, Arsenal, because we really don't look like we fancy it either. So I think you have to get top four there. And the last thing I'll say on this, Premsy, is when Liverpool tried to do it, because everyone seems to want to compare us to Liverpool, how about comparing us to Liverpool in this way? Jurgen Klopp won him a league. Who
Mm.
couldn't do it before him? Brendan Rodgers. But he got close. But he just wasn't quite ready. Maybe that's what's going to have to happen at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta is going to try and take us as far as he can, but we need that winning mentality and that experienced head to come in and put us over the line. So that's the way I see it personally, mate.
No, beautifully said, Dan. Beautifully said. Couldn't put it better myself. So basically, just moving on now to the West Ham game because we are here to preview the West Ham game. Obviously, we always love ranting and raving about Arsenal situation because we want the best, Dan. We only want the best for our club.
Of
But
course.
but yeah. So basically, I'm just going to pull up the head-to-heads from Arsenal and West Ham's last 9 games. Yeah.
Mm.
So as you can see, we have quite a good, decent normal time against West Ham. It's not really. We've got one loss and one draw in 9 appearances against them. That's home and away. So everything tells us that it should be a bit of an easier time against West Ham than some of the other teams that we've struggled against, like a Palace and a Brighton. But obviously, Arsenal, you don't know what's going to turn up. What are you expecting from this West Ham team? Obviously, they're playing Frankfurt today, so we don't know what's going to happen there. I think we're playing on Sunday, so they've got like a 4 day to reboost. Then they got another 4 days again for the next Frankfurt game. So they have got time to recover in between. So I wouldn't be surprised seeing a proper full team at West Ham because I don't think they're going to give up that top four fight lightly. What are you expecting for them? Do you reckon they're going to lie over and roll over?
So no team's going to lie and roll over. Having said that, they want this Europa League more than they do European football through the league because it gets them the Champions League if they win that. So their eggs are going to go all in the basket of the Europa League, like we've done over the last couple of years. And I think Sunday's game, depending on what happens tonight, we'll see a fairly rested West Ham side, depending on what the result is tonight. If they win 4-0 tonight, they'll probably
Mm,
go strong on Sunday. I don't think they will. I think it will be one goal in it tonight. Like, it will be tight. I don't
yeah,
expect Frankfurt to spank them 3-0. I don't expect West Ham to be spanking them 3-0. I think you might see a 1-1, a 1-0, or maybe even a 2-1 either way tonight in tonight's game against Frankfurt, meaning they're going to be more interested in resting players on Sunday so they get the job done next week. So the good thing about that is not only would they be thinking about that, they've actually got no centre back fit at all. Craig Dawson got sent off against Chelsea. He's the only one
mm,
fit. Zuma's out, Ogbona's out, Diop's out. They had to play Ben Johnson, their right back, and Aaron Cresswell, their left back, in the last game, and things went wrong for them. So I think it could be interesting to see whether they go with Rice and Suchek at the back, or like I say, if they want to rest Rice and Suchek, then they play Johnson and Cresswell with Mosuaku at left back and their kid at right back. And then that gives us more of an opportunity going forward to attack their weaknesses at the back. So I expect 3 points, Premsy. I do.
yeah. I was saying that because I was looking at their team and it's going to be a bit of a makeshift team. That's why I can see them potentially resting quite a few players and bringing in like a younger. Do you know one time we played Liverpool and they brought in like a younger team in the Carabao Cup, and I think it's going to be the same kind of thing. I think they're really going for this Europa League. I think it's probably the best opportunity to win a trophy in a long time. I think
Mm.
it'll do massive for the club, and Brett, you can see that David Moyes wants it. So I wouldn't surprise me if they do put a weakened team out. Um, but like you said, on the other hand, no one is going to lie down and roll over. So, and Arsenal are so unpredictable at the moment. For me, this is a must-win game. We don't win this game, Dan, yeah, then there's no. For me, it was already gone after them 3 games on a bounce, bro.
Mm.
I trust me, I was glad I didn't go, bro. I was going mental at home, bro. I swear to God, 3 games on a bounce. That's like it was just
I
hitting me
went
the
to every
first.
single one, man. Every single
Yo,
one I
I
went to.
feel
It
for you,
was
bro.
horrendous, bro.
I hope you drank your guts out at half time. Fam, I'm
Had to.
telling you now for a
Had to,
fact
bro.
because it was a mad thing, Dan. But yeah, man, West Ham. I think that I think they're going to prioritize Frankfurt. I think they are definitely going to prioritize that match. And like what you said, in regards to depending on the result today, it's probably the team that they're going to field out. But they're out of the fourth race running for me now. I don't know where you stand with West
I
Ham.
agree.
I think they're out of it. I feel like if they do win that Europa League and we finish fourth, it's an absolute piss take.
Mate, I tell
Just
you.
imagine that, then.
Well, listen, I don't think West Ham are going to win the Europa League, and I don't think they're going to come fourth. Like, listen, they got a chance of winning the Europa League, of course they have, but I do fancy Frankfurt over two legs to get the job done. I do. I think they will do it. I think that confidence at Barcelona beating them will get them through it. The good thing is that they've changed the rules now, so that if West Ham do win it and we come fourth, then they put five teams into the Champions League. So luckily, we
Okay.
won't get knocked out of it if we do come fourth and
Thank
they win it.
fuck for that.
But the reason I don't want West Ham to win it is because, of course, they'll then won't let us forget that they've won something in Europe and we haven't. I
Yeah.
don't think they will, and I think it's between Arsenal and Tottenham who get fourth place. But if we want this fourth place, West Ham needs to be 3 points for us. We can't be dropping more points now. We've got to be going into every single game knowing that we need to win it. And it's like people say, 5 cup finals. Yeah, I think it is now because, you know, Tottenham are going to drop points. I think we probably are as well. And I think that North London derby is going to be key. But as for West Ham, we need to take 3 points. And I think it's set up nicely for us that we're going to go into this game taking 3 points due to their Europa League tie either side. And isn't it ironic that Spurs have got Leicester, who are in exactly the same boat in the Europa Conference League? I was speaking to a Leicester fan the other day. They really want to win that competition because it's their route back into Europe because they've had a terrible season. They're not going to get
Yeah.
Europe through the league. So they're going all out for that now, that competition, which means they'll rest players against Spurs. So I think West Ham and Leicester have got their sights on Europe and Arsenal and Tottenham have got their sights on the league. So I expect Arsenal and Tottenham to win both their games at the weekend.
And how does that normally turn out, fam?
Mate, exactly, bro.
Do you know what I mean? It's been a bit of a mad season, but like I said, I have got hope and I have got belief now, Dan, because like I've said to you and I've said to everyone, Robbie, everybody, wait until the last 5 games of the season. Yeah, keep your feet on the
Yeah.
ground, and when you can see the finishing line there, you've got a better understanding of where you are and if it is possible to happen. Because, like I said, it's for 19 seasons we've been in the Champions League final once, bro. We all know all about disappointment. We know all about it. So before we start getting too happy, keep your feet on the ground. And now we are seeing the finishing line. I think Spurs are very beatable. I don't think they're anything special at all. I think they've just got a fantastic manager. And on the day, he can pull out the tactics that will beat you. They've got 2 world-class players in Son and Kane for me. And at the end of the day, they make the difference. If we can match it up, I think, obviously, I want to get your thoughts as well on Eddie Nketiah coming into the team. But I think since he's coming to the team, obviously, everyone's been slating him. Everyone's always on his case, but I think he's been a revelation. I think
Mm.
he dropping Lacazette is just give us that legs, give us that pace, that energy, the will, the desire to get in behind and actually be able to be fast enough to do it as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's be able to stretch defenders and bring other players into play. Where do you stand on it? Are you feeling Eddie Nketiah, Dan?
So I'm not feeling Eddie long term, but right now
Oh,
he's better than
definitely not.
Lacazette. He's right, but he's better than Lacazette, mate. He is. Lacazette was done. He's done at Arsenal for me.
Mm.
He was done against the Palace, Southampton, and Brighton stuff that I saw from Lacazette was just a shambles. If I'm honest, I couldn't see much more of it. Against Villa, people said he thought he played well. I personally didn't, and I had arguments with people about that because I just saw him standing there. So I personally feel like it was the right move. Now, I was calling for Martinelli, not Eddie Nketiah. However, when I saw the team line up against Chelsea, I laughed and I said, "You're joking. Martinelli's out this side and Eddie Nketiah's through the middle." And then, of course, he
Same,
shut me up because he scored two goals. And since then, he's showed energy, he's showed intensity, he's actually shown fight. He's held the ball up a lot better than I thought he would. He's linked up play a lot better than I thought he would. And to be fair to the lad, as much as I don't want to give him a new contract and think his time is away from Arsenal, you can't really say anything other than well played to the lad because he's come in and he's given his all, and that's all I ask for him. As for
Yeah.
Mohamed El Neni, exactly the same. Mohamed El Neni does exactly what it says on the tin. He's never told anybody else that he's a Pirlo or a Vieira. He's come and said, "I'm a £7 million player. I'll do my job and I'll give you a 7 or 8 out of 10." And do you know what? In the last couple of games, he's given us a 9 out of 10 because I thought he was outstanding against United and brilliant against Chelsea also. So I think now you're seeing a lot of fans, as we do, Give him a new contract. They're brilliant. Give him a new contract. Let's just calm down. Remember what they've been brought in for was to do a job, and that's exactly what they've done. They haven't taken us to the next level. They've just come in and done their job. And I think that if you was to give one of them a contract extension, I'd probably go with El Neni just for the pure fact that he's always been exactly that, a squad
Yeah.
player and happy to be one. Eddie Nketiah, I believe, wants a big pay rise and wants to be playing first team football, and he's not going to get that at Arsenal, man.
Yeah, he's a model professional, El Nene, as well. Like when you think about it, since he's been here, he's never been the first name on the team sheet, but he's always got on, worked hard, cracked on. You've never had no problems from him. And like you said, bro, 7 and 8 every game, bro. That is like that. I'll pay £30 million for a player like that, bro. We can't get players that can do that throughout our team. Maximum, you're
Yeah.
getting a 5, 6. Then you got the young players. Smith Rowe is like when something's not working. If our whole team ain't playing well, nothing's going for us. If the team's playing well and one person starts to shine, then everyone seems to get encouraged. Or if something happens in the game, we go a goal down, then we come to life. Where that stuff needs to change now, man. But yeah, Tommy Asu coming in, Dan. Big bonus. I'm telling you, especially for the last couple of games, last 5 games of the season. I think he's going to be massive. Where do you stand on Tommy Asu? Because I love Tommy Asu as a player.
Big fan, big fan. Think he's been exceptional this season since he's come in. Massive miss when we did have the 3 months out. I've got to big up Cedric a bit because I thought he was going to be missed a lot more than he has been. Tommy Asu, for the pure fact that I thought Cedric was, going to be a huge weakness, but he had some very good games in an Arsenal shirt. But the biggest pro for me, mate, the biggest positive at the moment is not just the fact that he's back for our right hand side, but he's back for stability for Tavares on the other side. Because when he holds back, you can allow Tavares to do what he does best. And I think that when Kieran Tierney and Tommy Asu are together, the reason it works so well is because Kieran Tierney, although he is quite defensively sound and a lot better than Tavares, he allows him to go forward. Whereas Tommy Asu is that disciplined guy who sits there. And I think you'll see Tavares come into his own if we do go back to 4 at the back in and out of possession when Tommy Asu comes in for that pure reason. And the other thing I like about Tommy Asu, which I think we have missed on, particularly on the right-hand side, is aerial threat. I don't think Ben White's great in the air, and Cedric certainly isn't. So we've definitely missed that, and I think that that's what Tommy Asu will bring is some aerial height and some strength and discipline at the back. So let's hope that he can stay fit, mate, because I think we need him.
And just a quick question as well, Dan. Obviously, I've got to get your lineup for the game, but just a quick one. Would you consider maybe when Tommy Asu's back in the team, taking Tavares out and putting a Cedric in there? Or would you think that's going to shoot his confidence, go with the player that you brought, stick with him and make him come good? Or do you reckon these last 5 games of the season, we can't afford to fuck around, mate? We need to get these points and get in the Champions League.
Listen, unless Tavares is smashing the ball in the back of the net, I'm sticking with him because, and I meant his own net, because I'm sticking with him because I personally feel like you cannot, at 21 years old, take a player off against Forest, take him off again, not play him against Brighton, and then decide, actually, now that Tommy Asu's back, I don't want to play you again either. That to me is just shooting a guy's confidence. He needs a confidence boost, and I'll be sticking with Tavares now. He's not been nowhere near as bad as some people are making out. Against Palace, he was one of 10 that were bad. Yeah? So, apart from Leno that game, I thought everybody else was shocking. Tavares was poor, Gabriel was worse, Partey was shambles, there's no way he was fit. So it wasn't just Tavares that we've seen. And then he never got to play. When he come in against Southampton, things got a little bit better, and he's been okay since, to be fair to him. Against Manchester United, he had some real shaky moments, but also some really good moments as well. I just don't think the guy's a left back. If I'm honest with you, don't think defensively he's good enough. He's another Kolasinac type who just seems to be really good going forward, but not so great at the back. To be fair, I'm probably giving Kolasinac credit there because I didn't even rate him going forward either. But there we go. I think when you look at Tavares, he's awful. He was absolutely. He's the worst left back I've seen.
And the maddest thing is, when we've got him on a free, he was inside the Bundesliga team of the year. What kind of fuckery is that? Yeah, that is an absolute mad thing. But no, I agree with everything you say about Tavares. He was there, bro. I'm telling you, but you got to think about it, Give a bit of brown envelopes in them kind of leagues.
You know it, man. Yeah,
you're winning the Ballon d'Or, mate. But no, I agree what you're saying with Tavares, 100%. Dan, I agree what you're saying with Tavares. I feel like you have to stick with him. You have to give him that confidence, especially it'll be daft. He scored a goal as well, and to take him out of the team would be a bit shady. The one thing I must say about him, I think his positional play, like just to touch on what you were saying, it's just unbelievable. I don't think he's got the awareness and the understanding of his position properly. And like you say, that might just be down to him not being a left wing back. He might need to get converted into a left winger, backup left winger or something, because he's got pace to burn. He's got a decent cross. He's got a goal in him. So maybe that could be an option. But yeah, Dan, go on. Sorry, you was going to say something there.
No, I was just going to agree and say that I think Tavares is a left wing back or a left winger. I don't see him as a left back, mate. I really don't. And I think positionally he's all over the place. I think he's got ill discipline. I think he's quite rash. And I think that although he's great going forward at times, it looks like he's a bit of a machine in terms of like a Adama Traore type in terms of how he runs and his physicality. I don't really see him as a left back that we can rely upon. So I don't know where we stand in the summer with Tavares. I'm not sure if Mikel Arteta rates him enough to keep him or sell him. But certainly as a backup to Kieran Tierney, I think that's a position we might need to look at in the summer now because it hasn't really worked for Nuno as a left back.
The positive is he's young. We can still loan him out, get somebody in as cover,
Yeah.
and then take it from there, bring him back in the following year, and then see how he goes. Because he's got elements there of a good footballer. Obviously he's still young, but like I said, is whether he's going to be good enough for Arsenal, we're going to have to wait and see. But Dan, give us your team lineup then. Who you going with? Because Martinelli's not been starting from the start, and to be honest with you, I've been fucking pissed off about that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
But
I'll tell you what I'd go with, and I'll tell you what I think the team will be. That'd probably be the best way. But what I would do, Ramsdale, Tomiyasu starts for me now. I'd stick with Tavares as we suggested at left back, and Ben White and Gabriel will be in the middle. You've got to keep Mohamed El Neni in there as the Thomas Partey replacement, and then have Xhaka and Erdegaard as their kind of attacking eights. And then the front three that I would play would probably be Saka, Martinelli, and Smith Rowe. But Eddie Nketiah is going to play. We know this. It's probably going to be, it wouldn't surprise me if Saka, after coming off with a knock, is dropped this time. And he plays Martinelli and Smith Rowe with Eddie Nketiah. Wouldn't surprise me. But I think the rest of the team is pretty much picks itself, to be honest with you. It's just what he does with that front four, mate. But interested to see what happens to Pepe in the summer, because Pepe's a player I think has been mismanaged. I don't think he's had a very good career at Arsenal because of a number of things, and one of them being the manager. And this season, he hasn't had a chance to contribute. I would like to see him given a lot more minutes, and I think that when you're bringing him on with 15 minutes to go, it's just a pointless substitution, really, particularly when you're wanting him to win you the game. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the front four is. I would go with Martinelli through the middle and have Saka and Smith Rowe either side, but I think he'll go with Eddie Nketiah, and Saka might miss out on this one and come off from the bench because of his knock that he got.
Yeah, no, I think you could be 100% right. I feel, though, with Arteta, I think he might just, if Saka's fit, because Saka's one of them players that got a willingness to play. You can see he's got the hunger in him, and he probably doesn't want to miss out on the game. It might be a game where he might just keep everything the same, and just like you said, either swap the Martinelli Saka or just swap a Martinelli and a Smith Rowe. And I think it's just going to be a basic change like that. Obviously, I think maybe Tomiyasu might come into the team, but I still don't think he will. I think he might get like a second half or a 30 minutes, but it wouldn't surprise me if he comes straight back into the team, because West Ham are quite tall, aren't they? They've got big lads in there, so it wouldn't surprise me for tactic wise. But yeah, Dan, just before we wrap up, let's get your prediction. It's been emotional. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Man, it's always
the score's going to be, man.
Always a pleasure coming on, bro. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal. I'm going to be optimistic because I really do feel West Ham have got their priorities on this Europa League. So I'm going to go and be optimistic with this one. Reason being, Premier League, we can't afford to lose it. And we can't afford to draw it. We've got to take 3 points. So I'm going to go 2-0 to the Arsenal. And I think our young guns will get a couple of goals again. Not whether it's Eddie, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, no idea. But I think they'll do us proud. And we'll pick up 3 points. I'm going 2-0 to the Arsenal, mate.
Good one. I feel like I'm going to go with a 3-1 to the Arsenal. I'm going to go 3-1. I feel like if I just pull up the last 9 results that we play against West Ham, is always quite a few goals.
Yeah, there is.
A few 3-1s in there. And I could just see, like I said, is maybe being a weakened side and a weakened team, I could feel like they might just literally just have the floodgates open. They've hardly got a defence as it is, Dan. But yeah, Dan, I just want to say big up again. Thank you for coming. People that's watching, Appreciate the support. Make sure you like and subscribe, and go and check Dan Potts out as well if you don't know him already. It's honest opinion, and you ain't getting anything realer than anybody else. My brother. Peace
Cheers, my
out.
guy.